You know, it's damn near impossible to be an antinatalist slash a black pillar truth talker and have a relationship. The majority of people and women don't want to hear about that. They don't want to hear it. Even though it's happening, even though it's true, it's really difficult to awaken and try to have a bond with somebody who's not on that same level. Somebody who hasn't fully accepted the container that they're in. And that's like 90% of people out here. It's not just a woman thing. There's men too who can't even accept it. I have a lot of coworkers who, when I talk about what's going on in the world and where we are and what we are and how nobody knows what's going on and how we're this and how we're enslaved, and they just look at me as if I spit on them, as if I said something bizarre. And I didn't. No. When I was young, people told me, you know what? You're not educated enough. You need to be this. You need to be that. Use your brain. Use your brain. Then when you actually use your brain and you ascend to these levels, these higher thought processes, then everybody's mad at you. Everybody's looking at you like you're missing a link, and you're not missing a link. It's called growing up. And it's difficult, and it's really difficult to have a relationship. The majority of people out here just want to stay living in their illusion. Their delusion. Their illusion and their delusion. It's so gut-wrenching to wake people up out of it. I have some coworkers that I've woken up, but they refuse to fully waken up. Instead, they just treat me bad now. They look at me and they put their head down, they walk past me and they say mean stuff to me because I told them the truth. I overheard from somewhere that they said that I was a part of a cult, some kind of a cult, because I was talking about some spiritual stuff when I first got to the job. I don't talk about that stuff no more. You're not supposed to talk about politics and religion, but sometimes people just push your buttons and they ask questions that you got to give them answers to. It's not my fault that I have a compilation of experiences now that I'm deeper off into my human years. You want to ask dumb questions? Well, I have smart answers for you. Don't be the messenger. I'm just experiencing. And when you do, it shakes their whole foundation. And that sucks, because I still have to see these people. I've shined a hard light on their reality. I don't do it with bad intention. I do it with intention of growth and to give them answers to their questions, and it's met with ugliness. And then they never have a good retaliation for antinatalist content or black pill content or about the state of politics and stuff. No one has a good comeback for it. They just get angry and disappear. And it's real funny because I always think to myself, how are they angry when they don't even have an argument? I mean, we're in a place where you obviously need to have an argument about something. You think that somebody would be upset about something, but no, nobody says anything. They just, if I don't talk about this stuff, they don't talk about the stuff. They just go, oh, yeah, life is tough. They keep it surface right there. They stop right there. And it's much deeper than that. Oh, it's much deeper. It's much deeper. 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 It's much deeper than that. This is some level 172 shit. This is level 29. You know, this is tier 7. And people are always stuck at tier 1. I don't have time for that small talk. I'm trying to open a portal and get out of here. I'm trying to get to a better dimension. I'm trying to get to a place where there's no slavery, where there's no war, where there's no hunger. What do I have to do? I said it before, I'm going to keep saying it. Every time I open up my computer, I know it's the algorithm, but I'm pretty sure it's something much deeper than that. It keeps talking about how this is a spiritual prison. And the lesson is to try to grow yourself. It's not supposed to harm us, even though we are being harmed by being tortured, by having to stay up 24/7 and figure out how to make endless amounts of money. Even though we're being tortured, there's supposed to be some type of a spiritual lesson in it. Now, I'm trying to figure it out. I believe it has something to do with vices and addictions. And every human being is addicted and has a vice with something. Something that's holding them back from being allowed into a sacred place, most likely. I mean, if I was God and I created a bunch of artificial intelligence, I wouldn't just let them into heaven. I would put them in a place just like this, and I would test them rigorously until I found out their integrity, until I found out if they were worthy enough to come into a sacred place. So maybe that's what's going on here. Maybe we're all fabrications of God's will. We're like artificial intelligence, and we're being tested to see what we're going to do when bad situations happen. What are we going to do when we're happy? What are we going to do when we have money? What are we going to do when we're all alone in our home? Because that's what we're going to do in that sacred place as well, too. So, if I really use my full brain, maybe that's what's going on. Maybe this is a proving ground. A celestial proving ground before we get to move on to the next place. And there is a next place. Oh yeah, for sure. Because if there's a place now, then that means that there's going to be a place later. If something's happening right now, if we're existing in a realm now, then that means that we're going to exist in a realm later. They go hand in hand. It's just like finding out about a demon and then not believing in the angels. No, they go hand in hand. And we've all seen demons, right? We've all had supernatural, weird encounters. That means that the other side of the story is real as well, too. I mean, let's just make it make sense. Let's use our full brain here. But the fact that I know that doesn't make the suffering any easier. It makes it more confusing. It makes it upsetting, because how come we can't get a better training ground than this? How come we can't get a kinder proving ground? Does it have to be like this? But back to the topic about you're not able to have a partner, really. The more awakened you become, the more difficult it is to find love. It becomes quite impossible, actually, because nobody wants to hear this stuff. They just look at it and they judge you. They think that you're crazy or something. No. I'm a being of love. I'm a being of progression. I'm somebody, you would think that a woman would want a real man who's actually trying to ascend, not stay stagnant, not educate them, not show them thoughts of black pill, these deeper truths that are hard to swallow. That's a real man. A real man isn't somebody who doesn't talk about these things and just goes to work. That's not a real man. Makes a bunch of money but doesn't grow you spiritually. What's the point if you, or it's not just women too, for men too. This is a both gender thing. You want somebody who's going to grow you spiritually as well. Because that's what's going to be lasting for eternity, not the physical. I don't want a partner who doesn't understand these truths. And then when stuff happens in life, they don't even know what to think. They don't know how to perceive it. They don't even know that it's a test. They don't know that we're being tested. That way, when you try to implement strategies of progression, they're not on the same page with you. And then if they're not on the same page with you, you can't grow together as a team. That's like two people playing a co-op video game, but only one person knows what's going on. The other person is just like, huh? What? you're going to fail. You're going to lose. It's a dual effort. It's a dual effort. It's so frustrating here. And you know what? That's one of the biggest reasons why a lot of relationships fail too. Is because people aren't on the same page with their views of life. And then everybody just gets old and then just throws their hands up, and then that was the end of that story. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. What do? Do you go to a conscious festival? Where do you even find a conscious festival where you meet people of the same intellect, of the same understanding? And if this is a prison or like a celestial learning ground where you're trying to figure out, because things keep coming to me telling me that I'm supposed to retain my seminal fluid and not watch porn and not talk about it neither, and I'm supposed to destroy my inner child and let my cup overflow, the fluid of life, which is the seminal fluid. I'm supposed to let that build up, and then the simulation starts going better. You become magnetic. This is for men and women supposedly, but that's the number one message that keeps coming to me every day. When I'm angry, when I'm getting upset in my algorithms, whether I look it up or don't, it still comes to me in various ways that's the last thing that I need to master before something opens up here. Which is quite diabolical. It's very difficult to go against your biology. I don't know how people master this stuff, but I'm actively trying. I've already given up a serious a vice that I had on my life. I've given it up. I'm more clear, more focused than ever before. And all that I know is that those who don't question, those who don't pay attention, those who don't try, don't get out. They repeat. It's going to repeat over and over and over again until you get it. And I'm going to get it this lifetime. I'm going to get it. I want to put my armor on. I want to fly away into the dimension. I want my sword. I want my armor. You know? But yeah, I just don't understand, man. So it just seems unfair to me that if you don't master these things that you have to be a slave. What's up with the slavery? What's up with my water being poisoned? What's up with my food being poisoned? What's up with the chemtrails? What's up with the aliens and the creepy voodoo stuff? Why do I have to be subjected to that stuff just because? Did I miss my exit? I think I missed my exit talking. Oh, no, I didn't. Yeah, why do we have to be subjected to that kind of stuff just because we haven't mastered something spiritually? That's not nice. That's mean. I haven't hurt nobody. Why do you have to get up and go to work and toil and sit there and stand up and look straight? Don't fidget. Don't do nothing in front of these people wrong before they judge you and deem you unfit for the position. Don't you fuck up one time. Don't miss a day. This is wild. Especially 30-something years later. I mean, it's been happening since we were in kindergarten. Wake up. Put your shoes on. Be quiet. Why are you moving like that? Why are you talking like that? Turn this paper in. Hey, memorize this. Memorize this. Hey, get your hand out of my pocket. I never understood what that meant until I got older. Now it's more like, get your hand out my soul. Get your hand out my soul. This is absurd I mean, kindergarten, preschool, elementary, junior high, middle school, high school, college, and now fucking adult wage slavery. Get your hand out of my soul. I just want to rest. I just want to live my life. I want to go on a walk. I want to make my food without being on time constraints. I want to express, I want to see my parents before they pass away. But no, I spend the majority of my waking life enslaved. And then people go, if you have a dream job, you won't feel like it's. No, there is nothing that I want to do 40 hours a week, 80 hours every 2 weeks. Nothing. Nothing. I don't even want to play video games 80 hours every 2 weeks. There has to be a lesson in this. I don't know. Maybe I'm coping, you know. Maybe me looking for a lesson is a cope. And you know, that's scary. I hope it's not a cope, because, you know, that's all we do as people is cope. We try to make up excuses to explain why we're in this state of suffering. That's another coping mechanism. And that's scary. Every night when I walk outside of wherever I'm working at and I look into the sky, I see the most bizarre things. Last night was one of them, but it's usually a whole lot more bizarre than that. I always see floating things hovering around, staring at us, masquerading as a satellite or a drone or something. But it's like, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. What the fuck is the drone doing hovering slightly above where I'm working at, looking all weird, going in a circle, studying? Very strange behavior constantly. Doesn't make me feel comfortable as a person. It makes me feel very uncomfortable. I just hope that I could find somebody in the future who is on the same page with me, who understands what I'm talking about and meets me with understanding and not judgment. Somebody who's trying to grow. But that seems damn near impossible. That's like trying to find a diamond, a needle in a haystack, or a diamond in the rough. You know, that's like, it's damn near impossible. I can't tell you how many times I've pulled up here in this same spot. Thousands of times. Hundreds of thousands.